Here we go. Hey guys, thank you for being on our Monday night team call. I think we called them Monday night meetup. Thank you, Steph. We're going to take a picture really quickly right now at the beginning because I will forget. So everybody, doesn't matter what you look like. I got some, I didn't do my hair today. That's what happens when I let it do its own thing. So Holly, you're like crooked. That's okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, this is just for us to seriously put it in our stories. Okay, ready? Everybody smile. Let me take the chat off. It does look like Jamie has lipstick on. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. All right, thanks, friends. If you're doing stuff and you want your camera off, that's okay. Love seeing your faces, but totally understand you might be doing weird things that you don't want us to see if you're trying to multitask. So we are kicking off weekly Monday night team calls, and they're going to have different topics. They're going to have different topics. It's a way for us to connect as leaders on the team, but also to grow as leaders, to grow our businesses. And I'm really excited to kick them off again. And ideally, we're going to have them laid out in topics for the next several weeks. So tonight, we're just going to talk about becoming a leader in Plexus through growing your influence and growing your network. You know, I was talking to a couple different people over the past couple of weeks, and a lot of us are in this stage in our business that happens more than once, where you kind of feel like you either have tapped out your current warm network, you feel like you don't have anyone sharing, maybe you feel like you're not sure what to do, or you think you need to be a leader, but you're not sure what that looks like or how to do that. So we're going to start talking about all of those things on our Monday night call. I did create a quick PowerPoint presentation. Let's see if I can share my screen. This is just to keep me on task. See if I can present here standard. Aha, see if it'll let me share my screen. Because I did it in Canva. Canva's like my new friend here for doing PowerPoint templates. So can you guys see that? Give me a shake. It said becoming a leader in Plexus. Give me a chat or a thumbs up. It does look like Jamie has lipstick on, by the way. Okay, can you see it, Betty? You said you love it. I just want to make sure you guys can see that. Because you know how sometimes Zoom is wonky.
Yes, yeah, we can see it. It's my new Canva is awesome.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But I didn't download it yet. So I'm actually doing this inside Canva. So that's why I want to make sure you guys could see it. Okay. So becoming a leader and growing your influence and your network. First question to ask yourself: are you recruiting, but you're not creating others who want to share? And if you're early in your business, if you're before gold, the question is probably yes, right? But it doesn't have to be. And certainly if you're beyond that, it also doesn't have to be. I think we all have been in seasons where we're recruiting, but we can't get people to share. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that, because there's mainly 3 reasons why people aren't sharing. You either aren't talking about it at all, right? You're solely product focused. You aren't sharing it effectively. So maybe you're talking about it, but when you talk about it, you either make it too easy. So then once people hit silver and they actually have to do work, they're like, oh, wait, that's not what we talked about. Or you just aren't sharing it really effectively and making it too hard and overwhelming people. Or you're not growing as a leader and really putting that personal development time into your own growth. So the first thing I want to talk about is talking about the opportunity. Now, this is a flow chart that I could have made 50 different slides about, but I went ahead and put it up here. And I will share this with you guys. But I want to talk about vision casting from the moment you recruit somebody. Right? From the moment we recruit somebody, we are very comfortable talking about the products, right? Talking about their bowel movements, talking about their goals, talking about weight loss. We have to get comfortable, though, talking about that opportunity, okay? So you want to make that personal connection when you call someone on the phone. Now, everyone does it a little differently. You can call people as they're joining. Some people love to sign people up on the phone. You can have this conversation there. Or once they get their products, a lot of people hop on a phone call to go over their products or Zoom. I know Amy's been doing Zooms lately. Whatever that you use for that personal connection is when you want to have this conversation. So there's no, it's not like you have to do it on the first day or the fifth day. It's not an exact science, but you just want to make sure you're having the conversation. And guys, it's going to be messy when you first start talking about the business if you're not used to it. It's going to be messy. You're going to feel a little weird, but you have to be willing to get messy and be messy to be great. Okay. So when you make that personal connection, you want to validate that they're going to love their products, but then you also want to ask the magic question. If you love them, will you tell people about them? Or, there's also the magic question we have about, would you be willing to, share with 3 people to get your products paid for? Whatever your magic question is. But most of us, when we ask that, we're stopping at whatever their answer is. If they say yes, then we're like, oh, yes, this is so awesome. Someone wants to share. And then we may freak out and totally overwhelm them. Or if they say, I don't know. Yeah, then we don't bring it up again. Right? If they say, I want to get my own results first, or I'm not a salesperson, or no, I don't have time, or no, I didn't join for this business. Okay. Or if they're not open to it at all, we are not bringing it up again. So I want you guys to really think and start doing this when you sign a new VIP customer. Have this conversation while you're talking about the products, while you're validating that they're going to love them, while you're helping them get results. I want you to also ask, would you tell people you're taking these? Would you share with a friend? Will you share your referral link? And then whatever they come back with, right? Now I want my own results first. Then you have a framework here to kind of keep talking and don't shut the conversation down. Okay. When someone is open to it though, after handling their objection, or if they don't even have an objection and they say yes right away, then you want them to make a post on Facebook, and you want them to create that list of 10 people. These are the steps I think we all know, but we're missing the step where we're actually asking people. Okay. So when you make that personal connection with people and asking them if they want to share Plexus, if they say no, we're not going to be heartbroken. Okay. Making a personal connection with someone is building the relationship, but we're not emotionally involved in the outcome. Okay. And if someone's still not open to it, anytime while you're checking in with them as a customer, anytime they say anything that they love about Plexus, you're going to reach out and you're going to bring it up again. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you slept so well last night. I know other people probably don't sleep well either. And I know when we talked before, you weren't open to sharing, but now that you're enjoying this benefit and you're seeing how well you sleep, do you think anyone would come to mind that you would share this with? Right? So these simple conversations about the opportunity doesn't have to be, we don't have to overthink it. We don't have to think we have to make a certain amount of money. We are sharing a possibility because more people go to bed at night worried about finances than anything. So we want to make sure that we're sharing this. But you also want to keep in mind, just like product follow-up, following up about the opportunity also takes 8 to 12 different exposures, right? I was adamant that I didn't want to work this business. I was not going to share. I was not going to tell anybody. But because my sponsor kept bringing it up every so often, I finally caught the vision and decided to share. So don't get attached to the outcome. Don't drop the ball on follow-up though, talking about it. Don't think just because you mention the opportunity once and they say, no, I'm not going to share, that it's a closed door. But don't fall into convincing mode, right? Just like we do with sharing about the products, we want to have that same mentality with sharing about the business, because we know this opportunity is amazing and we all want people to do this business with. But if we are not talking to them about it, then they don't know. So a lot of times I've fallen into the habit too. I'm like, oh man, I don't have any people sharing. Dang it. I need new level ones who want to share Plexus and kind of make a paycheck. But then I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to anybody about the opportunity. Like all my messages to my potentials are all product focused. I haven't posted about the opportunity in a while. All my posts are product focused, right? So keep that in mind. When you ask yourself that question, am I recruiting, but I still don't have people sharing this business? Okay. Then you have to get comfortable with customer service. We have seen a lot of people fail in this business because they don't like customer service and they don't want to learn to like it. Because to be successful in this business, you must create relationships with people and have that customer service mentality. Okay. When I first started Plexus, I would have been someone who told you I didn't like people. You ever have, maybe you're one of those people. I was like, yeah, I don't really like people. Like I have my friends and that's great. So I, though, had to get comfortable with customer service. I had to fall in love with helping people have results. I had to fall in love with following up with people. I had to like talking about poop when poop was not a word I ever used before in my vocabulary. I hated it. I thought it was gross. But now I got comfortable with it. Why? Because my goal for my business was greater and my desire for success and to help people was greater than me being uncomfortable with talking to people on the phone or texting people or getting on a Zoom, right? Or creating those relationships and doing the customer service, okay? So if you want to form that personal connection and you're not really sure how to do it, or you get kind of awkward on the phone, or if you actually, because a lot of you guys recruit people that you don't know. I know Nicole's recruited some people from like online moms groups or like Tanzan and vendor events or, referrals from people. You still want to form that personal connection because that's what's going to keep people around and that's what's going to help people catch the vision. So 3 questions you can always keep in your back pocket. What do you do for a living? How long have you been doing it? And do you like it? And no matter what they say, that opens up the conversation for the opportunity, right? And helps form that personal connection, okay? So then we're talking about kind of maybe the reason we aren't getting people to share is because we've hit our leadership lid, okay? Or we know we need to grow as a leader, but we don't really know what that means. So leadership, as a reminder, it's not what you do. It's actually what you are. A lot of people think to be a leader for your team, you have to have all the answers. You have to have it figured out. You have to have this perfect system to tell your team exactly what to do. That's not it at all. It's actually just showing them what you're doing, even if it's not working, right? You are just, as a leader, you just have influence. And whether you want to be a leader or not, the minute you sign your first VIP customer, you're a leader. Like by default, you are now a leader. It's not a title. It's not a rank. It's not a paycheck. It is nothing but influence. And leadership and influence is something that you can grow and strengthen. It's not something that, you're either born with it or not. You hear a lot of people say, oh, he's a natural born leader. She's a natural born leader. And while some people may have some qualities that lend themselves to leadership, it's not one of those things that you either have it or you don't, which is great. You can grow into being a leader. I know back when Amy Morton was trying ProBio 5 and probably sold to her first customer, she had zero intentions of growing into being a leader and getting people on Zooms and helping people rank and doing all of these things that a leader does, right? Hosting events and talking to people. So you grow into that leadership. And it's just influence. So how do you grow your influence? Because these are things when I'm kind of in a season of low recruiting and I feel like I really need to expand my network or get more potentials, I change my focus to growing my influence and growing my network. Okay. So share your story and be vulnerable. That is the biggest way to grow your influence. People do not want cookie cutter, perfect Facebook or Instagram posts. They want you and they want you to be real and they want you to be raw. Now, I'm not saying you have to share all of your, secrets in your personal life, but being vulnerable in your story, especially when it comes to Plexus and this opportunity, will help grow your influence. It's okay also to tell people you don't know the answer to their question, or you haven't figured it out yet, or, you had the same reservations too when you started Plexus, or you also didn't want to start this business, or you also hated selling, right? It's okay to share your story and be vulnerable. That's what's going to grow your influence with people. You also want to show passion. growing your influence with your network and your current team. So when we talk about growing influence, we're talking about, your entire network. So current customers, potential customers, and then just people that you are in your life that may or may not be customers ever. But you want to show passion for what you're doing. Show passion for the products and this business. And if you've lost that passion, then sometimes we got to give ourselves a little passion boot camp and get it back. And I've had to do that. I mean, in 7 years, I'm not always showing up fired up every single morning, right? So to fuel my passion, I go look at people who are having success on the products. I go read testimonies. I watch a Diamond documentary. I listen to a podcast by Kristen Boss or somebody that's really into network marketing, and it fires me up for this industry and it fires me up for this business. And that's what I focus on to help show that passion. And then I share that. Okay. That will help grow your influence. And just showing up. And this one is probably the hardest for a lot of people, because a lot of people tend to, when we're in a funk or we don't feel like we're recruiting or our business is stalled or whatever, we sink back and we're like, you know what? I'm not really going to be on that Zoom. Like, I feel like a fraud. I'm not recruiting anybody. I don't have any new customers. My people quit. Someone turned off their subscription. I had somebody quit the products, right? So we don't show up. We don't show up on the Zooms. We don't show up on the team page. We don't show up for our customers. We know we should have followed up with them in week 4, but we're not. And we're just kind of hoping that they're okay. Because if I ask them how they're pooping or how they love their products, I'm afraid they may tell me no and somebody else might quit. So I'm just going to avoid all of it. And it's going to be fine if I avoid it. It's going to be great, right? But that hinders your influence. You want to have influence of people. You got to show up. They've got to see your face. They've got to see you on the team page. They've got to see you on the Zooms. They got to see you in their messages. They've got to see you in their text, on their phone, in their voicemail, right? So show up to grow your influence. And then add value. How can you add value outside of Plexus? You guys all have incredible value that you can add outside of just gut health and this opportunity. Think about how you can add value to people, and it can be on your social media. Are you someone who is awesome at reading labels? Are you awesome at cooking kid food? Are you great at organizing a pantry? Are you really, really good at relationships or gift giving? Or how can you add value to people outside of Plexus? That will help grow your influence. And ideally, it's something that you enjoy. So you're going to get value yourself, but also it's going to show that you're vulnerable in sharing something you're good at, and it's going to help fuel your passion because you're doing things you enjoy and adding value to others, right? You also want to demonstrate confidence. This helps grow your influence with people. And this can be as simple as language you use, right? So go back and look through some of your messages and see, are you using words like, let me know what you think, if you're interested, if you try it, right? Those don't demonstrate confidence. What demonstrates confidence is when you get it, you're going to love it. I can't wait for you to order. You would rock this business, right? Demonstrate confidence in your language, but also demonstrate confidence in some of what you're sharing on social media, right? And I was telling even just Jamie today, she is demonstrating her confidence because she's got a woman who really just wants fast weight loss. And, Jamie just wanted me to kind of read through her response to see what I thought. And I was like, Jamie, I would have done the same thing. She is demonstrating her confidence in that our products work, but not for a quick fix. And it is okay to be so confident in that you have to tell people, you know what, Plexus may not be for you right now. And that also is demonstrating that confidence. And then we want to sell the transformation that this opportunity and these products can have. And this is one that I'm working at right now. I am not used to posting on social media a story or a transformation. I'm such a facts and figures girl. I want to put the thing up about ProBio and why it's so great and all the stuff that's in it. But I need to get better, and we all need to get better at selling the transformation. I think I can't see everyone that's on the call because I've got the participants hidden, but I know Nicole was on, and Nicole does a great job on social media of kind of sharing the story or telling the story instead of just saying, hey, everyone needs ProBio. You need the triplex for gut health. It helps so-and-so with migraines. You sell the transformation. What is someone's life now, and what could it be once they start taking the product? So sell the transformation. That also helps to grow your influence instead of just selling a product or selling a coupon or selling a sale, right? Sell the actual transformation. And then along with that comes growing your network. And this is where a lot of people quit their Plexus business because your initial warm market gets tapped out. Okay. You have to figure out how to constantly grow your network. I have been doing this for 7 years. I have had to regrow my network probably 4 or 5 times. And you just have to get okay with it, and you have to find new and creative ways to do it. And it goes back to that. You have to want to love people, and you have to want to help people and serve people. Okay. So growing your network, if you feel like you're stuck, there's many ways to do it. And depending upon the season of life you're in may dictate how you grow your network, right? But certainly I still have people now that are buying that were in my initial network that just, it took them 7 years of me not quitting for them to be like, oh, this is kind of legit. Maybe I'll try it. But you want to figure out new ways to grow your network. Okay. And so I'm just going to go over 6 ways. You guys can chat in the chat other ways that are not on here, because there are so many ways to grow your network, but you have to be intentional about it. You have to time block it, and you have to work at it. Like, this is a task just like recruiting. So first thing you have to do is get social. You have to go into the grocery store or go get your nails done or go to the bank, and you have to lift your head up, and you have to smile and talk to people and engage in a conversation. This is a huge way to expand your network. Before Plexus, I was not that person. I would go to the grocery store with my head down, my hat on, knock out my list, and get the heck home. I'd go get my nails done while reading my book or my magazine or playing on my phone. Like, I didn't talk to people. I didn't want to get social, right? But after Plexus, when I realized, if I really want to be successful and hit these ranks and have this huge business, I've got to grow my network. So I got to look up. And some of my best customers and even some of my business builders are because I lifted my head up. Stephanie walked past my campsite in West Yellowstone, Wyoming. I may have been on my laptop at one point. Now, we did have a ridiculous RV that had a giant Plexus sticker all over it, but I looked up and I engaged in a conversation with her, and we connected socially right then, right? Friended each other on Facebook. Okay. That is a simple way to get social. I have customers I met at the nail salon because I just started chatting and said, hey, do you come here often? Sounds like the worst pickup line. But if you go to the same nail place, like I go to the same once, I'd be like, oh, I've not seen you in here. Is this your normal nail place? And you just start chatting. And it doesn't mean you're selling them Plexus in the chair. You're not selling them then. You're just getting social and making friends, right? The adding value and the sale comes later. You also, though, can get social on social media. I promise you, your network is not tapped out of your Facebook friends. If you sat down and you're like, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to export my friends list on Facebook. You can do that. Facebook will let you export it. It'll give you a Excel spreadsheet of all of your friends. If you went through, I bet there are people on there that you're like, oh my goodness, 1, didn't even know I was still friends with that person. 2, oh my gosh, they'd be great at this business. Oh my gosh, they would love Plexus, but I don't even see them in my feed, so they're not seeing me. Get social with those people. Now, you're not going to send them a message about Plexus, but you're going to get social. You're going to expand your network to the people you're already friends with by engaging with them and chatting and be like, oh my gosh, I was going through my friends list and I don't see any of your posts. How are you? Okay. You also, though, can get virtual. And this is how, in my first season of growing a new network, I was working. I didn't have time to do things outside of the house or had extra time for things. So I got virtual. I ran a Jamaica group. There's a resort we go to. We've gone there for years. I started a Facebook group about this Jamaica group, and I was the admin. And I don't do anything in it to run it except allow people in and kick people out if they're buttheads, right? But I got virtual. And because I love Jamaica and I love this resort and I have a lot of knowledge about it, I'm in there answering questions. I'm having fun, counting down people's trips, and people either friend me or they face stalk me because I'm the admin of the group. And then from there, I have tons of Facebook friends. Many of my current customers, couple of my business builders, we've not met in person yet. I only know them from that Jamaica group. Okay. If you're in a season of life where you have time to get out of the house, you can join networking groups, local chamber of commerce. Here where I live, just a quick Facebook search, there are like 6 or 7 different female specific networking groups just in my area. They meet monthly for coffee. One of them is a Zoom networking. They meet every Friday. They give leads to everybody, right? Everybody knows if you're in that particular networking group and they're ever talking to anybody about a health issue or vitamins, they know, oh, Amy from my networking group, I'm going to refer them to her. Meanwhile, I also am in the group with them. So if I hear, or if I'm talking to anybody and their businesses come up, I refer people to them. So there are networking groups out there in your local area that are either in person or virtual, and they help you grow customers. That's their goal. That is the goal of these networking groups. And many of them, the ones around here at least, there cannot be another Plexus person in our group, in our house is what they call it. There also cannot be, though, they're so tight in how these work, because I'm gut health and weight loss and a little bit of skincare. If I want to talk about all those things, then there can't be another weight loss, skincare, or gut health person in the group, right? And we're talking, there's realtors, there's small business owners, there's boutique owners. There's one woman I met who, it's just genius. She started a mom's carpooling service where a bunch of moms who have the time will pick up people's kids from school and take them to activities for moms or dads that work and can't get there. Like, it's genius. So anyway, that's an option. You can also just join local groups. So once I got out of the corporate world, we got back from the RV, I joined the local junior league of the Woodlands. And that has opened me up to an entirely new network of people that I'm seeing in person. I'm friending, I'm going out for drinks. We have a meeting actually tomorrow night, our monthly meeting. And so that has been a great way for me to connect with a whole new network of people. I also got involved in my neighborhood. So my neighborhood has a social committee and a women's club. And I started volunteering for like the Easter egg hunt, or I volunteer for the crawfish, right? And I get to know people that way. And then I also started getting a little bit more active on our neighborhood Facebook page. And if your neighborhood does not have a Facebook page, start one. Okay. Now, sometimes if it's an HOA like ours, it can be weird and, there's people complaining, but I post on the neighborhood page silly things all the time, because then I got a whole bunch of neighbors sending me friend requests, and then people just know me, right? And I've had several people now be like, oh, you know what? I saw your post. I want to talk to you. Let's meet for lunch. I want to talk about that thing you do. What's your business? Or, hey, my kids need vitamins. I think you're the one I need to talk to. Okay. I post about the ducks. I post anything weird I see on the lake. Like, I'm not posting anything like genius or well thought out. It's just to be social in that group. Okay. You also can try a new class. Amy Morton and her daughter went to Zumba. Like, awesome. She expanded her network, but she said her and Ashley had like the best time ever. It was so fun. Okay. So you can try a new class, do a cooking class, go to some free class at the library or a community college. You don't even have to be things that you pay for. There are plenty of free events that will open your network to new people. You also, though, can volunteer. That's a huge way to open your network. If there's something you absolutely love, go to the animal shelter. You can connect with your local junior league. That's why I did it. We have hundreds of ways to volunteer every month, everything from like Wheels on Meals to, stuffing bags to all kinds of volunteer opportunities. But that's another way to grow your network. And I hope you guys are chit-chatting in the chat about all kinds of other ways. Let me see here. Yes, so you can search for those networking groups. So I would just search, what do you guys, Spring Hill, right? Is that like your town name? Spring Hill Networking. See what comes up on Facebook. Just search any, like your town name and a networking group or marketing groups or anything like that, and see what comes up. What we have here is actually one that is statewide. A woman created it. It was called the Woodlands Girls Night Out. And it started as just a networking group, and it has exploded so much. She now has it in all cities across Texas. It's actually genius. And she's got, you can join it for free, but then if you want to like put up an ad, or if you want to do any of these things, she charges you. But you may look even like a girls' night out type group. Maybe even search that as a keyword, or guys' night out too. Don't want to make it feel like it's just women for the guys on the call. Okay. So those are ways to really grow your network. But again, you have to be intentional, and it has to be ongoing, and you have to be committed to the process. You're not going to post in a Facebook group or a networking group once or twice and then the floodgates are going to open, right? This is something you want to commit to. Like, for the next 6 months, I'm expanding my network. For the next 6 months, I'm going to network. For the next 6 months, I'm going to grow my social media. I didn't put that on there, but a huge way of growing your network, if you want to invest in the time, is Instagram. Christina Williams, who is a Diamond Senior Ruby, most of her recruiting now are strangers from Instagram, but she's investing time. She hired a virtual assistant to help her do her stories and her posts, and she's investing time in growing her network, and it's working for her. So that is another way. But again, all of them take time, and all of them take an investment of us. So what is up next though? If you're like, okay, I want to grow my leadership. I know there are things I can do. And I want to grow my influence, and I really want to kind of grow my network. What are some things you can do? One is show up on Wellness Connection calls. We are starting these Monday night calls, so they will be geared toward these types of topics. I'm really excited for them to come back. We also will have, our regular calls. Amy's hosting a power hour tomorrow, but please feel free to, all of you guys, post on the team page. Do not be afraid. Do not think you have to ask permission. When you post on the Wellness Connection, your people see that, right? Your people don't know me. Your people don't know Nicole. They don't know Amy. They don't know like a lot of the people that are regular posters, especially if they're your new customers. They don't know who we are. Feel free to post. You can post anything. Don't overthink it. You can shout your people out. So-and-so had a bowel movement today. Woohoo, she's moving past die-off, right? Shout out people for anything. Or just share a recipe, share anything that adds value, because that's going to grow your influence with your people. Okay. And that's going to be one of those things to help with that connection, to help current people also want to do this business. Leaders in Action, though, is a monthly Plexus webinar. They only do one a month. We've already missed the one for April. It was like on the 5th. They are fabulous 30-minute leadership specific topics. So we're talking, it's for people who have a team and people who are looking to grow their leadership, grow their network, grow their influence. If you go to the Plexus training calendar, so you can Google Plexus training calendar, or you can just go in your virtual office and it's right on the front dashboard. Click it. Okay. You click it and then you click the American flag, and then it comes up with the April, all the trainings for corporate. At the top, it says click here for the recordings. You can get all the recordings if you click there. So all the Leaders in Action for the past several months are there. They also have started doing them live on the Plexus Ambassador community page. So if you can't find it, or if you're like, I can't get this thing to work, you can find it in there. I would make that a priority. I would make the Leaders in Action a priority that you put on your calendar. It's one a month. And then there are lots of free resources for people. Right now, Bob Heilig is doing a free transformational selling challenge. Starts tomorrow, runs through Friday. And he's doing 30-minute trainings a day on how to sell the transformation, and how to focus on the transformation and not just selling, and how to add value. So that would be a great resource. And then Kristen Boss, I know a lot of you guys love her. She's really great. And the reason I mentioned Bob and Kristen, I don't get a kickback from either of them. I'm not one to tell you have to, use coaches or find certain people, but I like these two because their philosophy is such that they want to further legitimize network marketing, and they want to show people how amazing the industry is, and they want to stop, the hustle and kind of the selling and the forcing people to be a customer when they're really not ready. And they really are about adding value to people and this kind of selling the transformation and selling the business. So I do like those two. I'll recommend them. I've done their free stuff. I've also done their paid stuff, but nowadays so much stuff is free that you do not have to pay for anything, right? The other thing I would say is that once we get these Mondays going and we hit a few kind of topics that a lot of you guys have told me you need, or we feel like we need to just kick it off for the next few weeks, then we will be doing leadership specific trainings on this call together. We'll be going through the 5 levels of leadership, the John Maxwell. We'll be going through that. We'll be watching some videos together, and we'll be doing that together. So our goal on these Monday night calls is to come together as business leaders to help us all grow as leaders. So if there are any topics that you guys are like, oh man, I really need a training on this, I really love you guys to talk about it, I would really love to have a guest speaker talk about this, let us know. So I'm going to stop sharing. It's been past 30 minutes. Our goal was also to keep them at 30, because I know a lot of people, it's in the evening. So thank you guys for being on. You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. If not, I will end the call here in a few groups, or in a few minutes. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Betty should have washed her hair too. Well, we're just glad we can see your face, Betty. We don't care if you washed your hair.
Are we allowed to talk?
Of course.
That was really good, Amy. Thank you.
Thanks.
It was really good, really helpful.
There's so many more things like I wanted to talk about, or we could talk about, but I really want to keep these to 30 minutes. So,
yeah,
we could certainly do another 30 more specifically on influence, or more specifically on social media. So we'll get there, but I thought it was a good start too. Well, thank you.
And then we have Mike agreed to do the training. So Mike will be the speaker one of these nights.
Yay, that's awesome. Amy's husband, Mike, is going to do a training for us on closing the sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really good. I love it.
The steps of a sale and closing a sale.
That's awesome. That's very exciting.
It's really helped me. So I figured it would help everybody.
Well, you have been so bold in the last, I don't know, 60 days. Like I can tell the difference. Amy is just talking to anyone and everyone about
well, he also comes him every day and says, okay, how much longer till you're diamond?
That'll do it. Maybe I need Steve to kick it up over here.
The pressure.
Yeah, kick the pressure up a little bit. So, oh my goodness. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for being on. It was good seeing everyone. Bye, friend.
Yeah, bye.